Welcome back. This is Capes Are Awesome, and I'm just going to be looking at Joseph Quinn spoke to Marvel about Johnny Storm and where we are culturally. He is a womanizing, but is that sexy these days? I don't think so. We'll be looking at that article by Zach Schaefer from Variety, and I'm basically going to give an opinion on that. We're also going to be looking at another article from Superhero Hype. How Johnny and Sue have been altered in the Fantastic Four. We'll be looking at those two articles today. But mostly we're going to be looking at our friend here, Joseph Quinn. I'm just going to look at Joseph Quinn is joining the Marvel Universe as Johnny Storm, Human Torch for first steps, but the actor recently told Entertainment Weekly his version of the character is something different than the past iterations. Chris Evans, Johnny in the two previous Fantastic Four movies, as a cocky, womanizing playboy, said no longer sexy. Said that's no longer sexy. He's a man that leads with a lot of bravado, which can be affront sometimes, but also he's funny. Quinn said of Johnny and myself and Marvel Studio boss Kevin Feige were speaking about previous iterations of him and where we are culturally. He was branded as this womanizing devil may care guy, but is that sexy these days? I don't think so. It is sexy, but well, let's finish. This version of Johnny is less callous with other people's feelings, and hopefully there's self-awareness about that driving attention-seeking behavior. Quinn added. We're not being paid for it. Fantastic Four director Max Schachman called this version of Johnny really smart and not just a dim-witted hothead. He's on the spaceship for a reason. I think sometimes people forget that in various comic stories he's been one of the most heroic of them, even if he's undercut his heroism at every turn through humor. He said he is Sue's brother, which means they are cut from the same cloth. Similar cloth. So same. That's better. Please. Sounds better. Okay, enough criticism. Alrighty. Quinn previously teased Fantastic Four to Entertainment Weekly by saying there are aspects of it that are very different to other Marvel films that felt very compelling to him. Superhero movies are movies about people, Quinn continued. And if they invested in the people and the characters and the peril and the spectacle, then that's why people go to theaters and watch films. We're not just in a penny, we're in for a pound with this one. Wow. We're going to go for it. Don't criticize. We're almost finished. Fantastic Four First Steps open the theaters on July 25th from Disney and Marvel Studios. Okay. It feels like I was reading. Okay, if those statements were true, I don't want to criticize the guy too much, but wow, those were very stock answers, stock quotes. Like those are very bog standard quotes. There was nothing to it. What he was saying, it was just sort of like, yeah, up, down. Like, the grass is always green on the other man's yard, or something like that. It was very like, oh, okay, I've heard those 1,000 times before. But you saying it was way more interesting. Like, no, man. That's like my basic look at it. A deeper look at it is that the guy says that Johnny Storm's character flaws make him a terrible character. No, character flaws make a character more well-rounded and much more well-developed. And when you see him overcoming his past flaws and become a better person, it's always a good thing to watch. It's always heartwarming. It's always uplifting. For those in the audience who have their own personal problems they're trying to overcome, it gives them hope that maybe they can fix themselves. You can't have a perfect person on the screen 24/7. it doesn't play well. Like, the old Fantastic Four, what made them really good was that they always bickered with each other. They always fought with each other. But when push came to shove, they always rallied together and fought as a team. That was what the positive quality of the stories told by Fantastic Four. Is that despite the person's flaws, they are still a good person and still can work with other people. What this guy doesn't seem to realize is that by taking away Johnny Storm's more negative qualities, you just sort of make him come off kind of generic and uninteresting. And it's boring. All right, let's move on to the next article. So it's from Istar Verma. Okay. Verma. Ishita Verma. Okay. Johnny have been altered in Fantastic Four, so we're going to be looking at this one. Joseph Quinn and Vanessa Kirby. That reminds me of Jack Kirby. I wonder if she's related to Jack Kirby. That would be very interesting. If you don't know who Jack Kirby is, just type Jack Kirby into Google and you'll find him. I'm not advertising Google. Pick any search engine. You'll probably find a lot about Jack Kirby real quickly. Let's just say he's one of the founding fathers of the comic book industry. Let's just say it like that. Well, not one of the founding fathers. He was instrumental. Let's just say it like that. Recently shared how their versions of Johnny and Sue Storm in the Fantastic Four differ from past portrayals. The actors portraying the brother-sister superhero duo in upcoming, directed by WandaVision's Matt Shakman. The studio's film also stars Ebony Moss and Pedro Eben Moss Burchett and Pedro Pascal. Now, I want to talk a little bit about WandaVision. The consensus I get from people is that they liked the opening part of WandaVision with the mystery and stuff like that. But it came off to like standard Marvel slop when they got into the later half of it. And I thought that was a little, honestly, it could have used a little bit of work. It felt like it was kind of out of nowhere with some of the stuff, like her figuring out how to do that. It seemed okay. I guess you could say she's a pretty clever character when she observed how to do the witch carvings that enabled her to defeat the villain. Like that was cool, but Wanda didn't seem like she was she's good at coming up with master plans. You know what I mean? Like, not that she's an idiot. It's just that I don't see that just coming out of nowhere with her. Vision's fight. I don't know how to describe that one. It really does feel like they wanted to put Doctor Strange in there, but for whatever reason they just couldn't. There's probably a number of reasons. People aren't going to list them everywhere, but they really should have put Doctor Strange in that one. Just to advertise the next movie, just to advertise a lot of things, but I digress. WandaVision wasn't a bad piece of Marvel's media, but it wasn't their best work. It was, it could have used some work. Like, the ending part could have really used some work. They really should have sat down and, okay, let's do this differently. Let's read on. Fantastic Four First Steps will introduce a new version of Marvel's First Family when it's released on July 25th, 2025. There already been 3 live-action films in the past. However, Vanessa Kirby and Joseph Quinn recently revealed that their versions of the characters will be different from the past portrayals. Okay, so on those 3 films that they're talking about, They weren't in like the same universe. There was like different universes. The third one, well, there's actually 4 of them. There's one that was done that was never released, but they made it. I think it was in the early 2000s, maybe late 90s or something like that. I don't know. Then the other 2 were done in the 2000s. They were okay. People didn't like them. I don't really remember them that too well, but I thought they were fine to alright. You know what I mean? It's not terrible. I don't hate what they did with those first 2 movies. I never saw the third one. I had no interest in it. You know what I mean? Like, I just heard nothing but bad things about it. If you guys think there's something there, if it was better than been told, leave in the comment section. But just so you know, I'll hold you. I'm not going to hold you responsible. People like things differently. Yeah, it's just the way things are. While speaking to Entertainment Weekly recently, Quinn shared that the version of Johnny Storm is less callous with other people's feelings, and hopefully there is a self-awareness about what's driving attention-seeking behavior. He stated that his Human Torch is hilarious and leads with a lot of bravado, which can be offending. Sometimes the actor describes his previous iterations of the character as womanizing and devil-may-care. Director Shakeman also describes Johnny as smart. He added that he's also one of the most heroic out of the other members of the Fantastic Four. You don't have to compensate for the character. The character is beloved. He is... Just do a good job with him. But I know what they're trying... They're trying to make him... They're trying to hype him up a bit, but hopefully they try to stay loyal to the character more than they do here. Yeah, anyway, Kirby... oh, sorry about that. Kirby, who plays Sue Storm, also conveyed that she wanted her version of her character to be different. Sue is known to be the matriarch of the family. Speaking about Sue, Shakeman described her as the most emotional, intelligent person on the planet. Okay. Talking about her, Kirby said, one of the things I love most about Sue's history is when she becomes Malice and all her dark stuff comes out. I was obsessed with a chapter of her life, so I bet you were. I know what you're into, so I wanted to make sure that there were tones of malice in there with her, that she wasn't just a stereotype of a goody, sweet mother. Furthermore, she asserted that she did not want just the tough, invincible, powerful woman, but also a mother who gives birth, which itself is a superhero act. In recent footage released at CinemaCon, it was revealed that Sue is pregnant in the film. Okay, so there's probably a lot to unpack there, but the main thing is I'm not going to say I'm less excited. I just get the feeling they're going to make her the main character and they're going to push all the other characters to the side, which is a bad idea. This is called the Fantastic Four. It's about the 4 of them working together as a team. You can focus on 1, maybe 2 of the characters, but overall you got to be able to showcase all 4 of them in a positive light. Hopefully they can do that, but Marvel hasn't been knocking them out of the park lately. Sorry about the alarms. That's something that's going on. Anyway, thank you so much for stopping by. I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.